Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. It's kind of a continuation of what I was messing around with a little while ago on a side-scroller project, and pretty much just want to cover making some of the features and stuff that you can use, and it doesn't have to be for a side-scroller, it could be for any kind of map or whatever. Just kind of roll through here. Got our character. This is being a side-scroller, you only have left, right, and jump is pretty much it. You can use the up is the same as jump. So this is going to be the mud pit, and I'll show you how I make the actual mud here in just a moment. And I put a couple spring pads just to get you in and out of it. The angled BSP geometries, I'll show you in just a moment on those too as well. So what I've done is I put another launch pad there to help get you up to a little mini platform, then jump over to there. You got this thing, this wall. The hell? How are you supposed to get past this block? And just run into it and knock it over. So there you go. Gotta love physics constraints. You know, if you just did it to where it would fall over, potentially it might, you know, not fall the way you want it to. So I've added a couple of physics constraints into it, and to make sure that it falls exactly the way that I want to. Initially I had the cannon set up here, and the cannon would shoot it and knock it over. I'll drag it back in there just to show that, just for the giggles. I had the cannon set up in here to where it would be in there. Then my cannon trigger, go back in here, and the same thing, you get to that point and get up there. Come on, get up there. It's like, well, gee. Yeah, but see, it's too unpredictable. I could adjust things on it and make it work a little bit better. But for this situation right here, I think this is going to work. This has never been a problem jumping up here before. I've done this testing-wise 50 to 100 times. And now it decides it doesn't want to jump up to that level. It's a 100. So now you just walk over here and you run into it and it falls right over. Nice and neat. And no worries. So now you have a bridge and you can continue going up or down or left or, you know, whatever you want to do on it. But I wanted to go ahead and make the mud. Now I could just go in here and grab a plane and raise it up and scale it and everything else, but I want to go ahead and make sure that I get in here into my assets folder, and I want to make a new folder called textures, and I'm going to do another one called materials, just because I'm going to need them. And I have a series of textures already set up here that I'm going to bring all of them in here, and one extra thing, which is a blood splatter, and I'm going to drag those into here. So now we have some different things to work with. Now the blood splatter is going to look like a weird red square. That's fine, it'll work itself out later because I'm going to turn it into a sprite. So let's go into my, well, let's go ahead and make, I'm going to use this one for the mud, but I'm going to do this to all of them. All I'm going to do is right click on it and create material, and then I'm going to drag that into the materials folder. So now I actually have a material that I can work with for the mud. And let's go into the gadgets folder, right click, blueprint, actor, mud underscore BP, go into it, get your nappy ass up there, add component of a plane, and I want to make sure that on this plane, scroll down to collision presets and set no collision. And then on the materials here, go to this, and I'm going to select my mud. and it wasn't actually called mud. A lot of materials from the Cinti assets in here. There we go. Compile and save. Now, we'll do this a couple different ways, but show you the basics of it whenever you want to put this into your map. I'm going to bring it in here and notice that a certain height, you can scale it however you want now with this a basic material. And I know that this needs to be 10 because the gap that I've got is 1,000. It could overlap, it's not a big deal. I'm going to 0 that, and then I'm going to make this a little bit wider so it fills that particular spot. And I know that it needs to be 5 wide because I know that my area is 500. So I'm going to go in here and take a look at it. I'm going to fix this ledge here because I don't like the fact that it's no longer 100% effective. It was, and it was working just fine. So you can see the bottom of the screen here. So if I grab this, if I were to drag this up to make it the mud deeper, you see that I can see underneath the plane there. So I want to make sure that I don't go above this view level. So now whenever I come over to it and drop in, I don't see it on the bottom edge of the monitor or of the view screen. I'll have to double check this with playing in a normal mode, but I wanted to make sure that it's not visible there. So, and that would be fine, but we really want it to actually slow the player down. So what we'll do here is we will add a component of a box collision, and we'll just scale it to 1.5 by 1.5. And it's okay if it goes too far down. You don't really want it to go too far above, because you want, once you get into the mud, you want this to perform its effect. So let's go in here, dump this stuff, right click on component begin overlap and end overlap. And we want to cast to our player. And I'm going to do some things here, and then I'm going to copy it and do the bottom here. So we want to get a reference to our movement. And drawing a blank here on exactly what it's called. It is our character movement. So get a reference to want to let's actually try doing it for max. I want to set the max walk speed. Because if we look in here in our character movement, scroll down, max walk speed is 600 and crouched is 300. But ugh. Let's try turning off that. Set max walk speed. Target. want to get the character movement. Well, it is not wanting to cooperate. Why wouldn't you let me cast or get that actual component? See, it's not going to work because I don't have a target. And it won't let me drag out from here. So, let's actually do this the way that I didn't want to do this because, you know, Unreal Engine 4. Everything has to be stupid. And we'll make a walk speed. And so we've got the character movement here. What we want to do here is actually probably go ahead and we'd like to run this just as I was doing right there and just run it off of there, change the max walk speed, but it will not let me get that variable that I want. And I don't want to do it this way. And see if I do this, promote to variable, and try it this way. Character movement. So this, I would assume, I shouldn't have to do anything with this. Off of event begin play. We just want to go ahead and make sure that we have that variable. It's set. But still don't think this is going to actually work. Because if I grab it in here, character movement, this right here, this variable. Well, it's showing it there. So let's actually see here. Get character movement. And then it should let me link to there. If I compile and save, should be functional. However, I am sure that Unreal Engine 4 is going to find a way of screwing me out of it. And we're going to put that back at 600. Yes, yes, kiss my ass. Link right there. So you can see everything is there. So hit play and come over here and get into the mud. It slows me down considerably, and then I'm back to normal run speed. So it is working. Slows me down so I know that I'm actually in mud. Blink. Just like that. That's cool. So yeah, that's how you make mud. It slows down your walk speed. You could probably set it down. I'd probably go to 200. What the hell? So now we've got mud, and all we have to do now to recreate that is just drop it in as a blueprint and then scale it to whatever size we need. And now we've got a section of mud to play with. Said that I want to change this. The angle is being unpredictable, so let's actually take this. I'm going to click on it, click on geometry editing, and I'm going to click on this corner and this corner, little squares, and I'm actually going to since I'm set to moving on 5, bring it down by 10, that's actually going to be 50 in my movement. So now I've got a nice little trapezoid shape. So if I come in here to play, now you can see it's a little bit smaller. Yeah, much slower. There we go. And honestly, that one's kind of crappy there, so let's actually click on this one instead. I'm going to click here and here, and all I'm going to do is come up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see how that works. So this just slows you down a little bit where you got to jump, slows you down really bad in the mud, and then no problem jumping there, and knock that down and just keep on walking. So those are some of the basic things you can put in. There's so many other things you can do in your maps to actually create new content. This right here, you can't use a BSB geometry as they just don't work the same for this. All I did was I took and I put down, this is just a cube, a regular cube on the basic geometry because it is a static mesh, and I scaled it to 5 for my depth and then 0.1, 0.1, so it's this little small 10 by 10 by 500 stick. And then I created the bridge platform, which is actually 5 by 0.1 by 5.25. I wanted to make sure I had no problems for it laying all the way over. And then I used a physics constraint actor, used 2 of them, one here and one here, so that it locks to this and this. If you look at the physics constraint actor, actor 1 is the anchor point, and you want it to be your solid anchor, and that's the one that's highlighted in red. Actor 2 is actually going to be the other one, the actual bridge portion. So that's actually going to give you your falling thing, and you need to make sure that your item that you want to fall or move, you need to ensure, actually I need to be in the correct thing, whenever you want your item that's going to fall, you need to simulate physics. So that's got to happen in order for it to be able to move. If you don't, then you're just going to get an error. Mud. Now, okay, we're out of the mud. We can jump over here, jump up to this, come over here, knock this guy down. And the reason why I put the other piece directly in front of it, there was another one that is as you can see, the size I put on is 5 for my length and then 0.3, 0.3. And I needed something that was going to be a stop, essentially, for this guy. Because what was happening is it would teeter back and forth and just not look right. So that just keeps it from tipping back this way, and it makes it a solid area for it to rest against. So there's no chance that it'll actually fall backwards on you. It only has one way to fall now, and that's because of the physics constraints. It can only fall forward, and thus making your bridge. And since it does have collision, then we're able to hit it and knock it over, and we can actually walk on it like a bridge. So that's cool. I like it. So if you decide you want to go ahead and do a side scroller, you got the option of, you can just make this really huge long map. You could do endless runner style, where you actually can have it spawn things in front of you as you're going. You can have a full static map. That's what I'm doing here, is a full static map, and this is just a test map for testing out features and content that I could put in here that will do things. Of course, one of the normal things that you need is, well, whenever I hit play, this is a test map, so there's no music playing in the background. I would have music or sound or something playing in the background just so that stupid bud, it's not bone quiet and silent and just boring. So you could add like a creaking sound whenever you hit this. And what I would probably do is build another little gadget, which is just a box collision that is a single use. You set it to do once, so whenever you hit it the one time, it falls over, it makes a squeaking noise, but you could walk back and forth across here again and again and nothing will happen. Alright, so we do have our instant death feature here. And you notice it didn't go correctly because my coordinates for that aren't automatically saved. So what I need to do is on my respawn checkpoint, throw my default in. Default location, I need to set that to 100. So as a default, if I'm running around and oh no, I died, I'll reset the whole thing back to a regular death animation. You respawn above ground and on ground so you can keep walking. And then with the gadgets checkpoint, essentially all you're doing is you're creating your platform. And again, I'm going to keep this visible for now because I want to see where it is, but later on you can just click on like your cube, come back in here and scroll down to visible, uncheck that, and it becomes invisible in the editor. Or you can check this so that it's hidden in game. You can see it when you're editing, but whenever you're actually playing the game, it becomes hidden. I'm going to leave it the way it is for now just because I want to see it while I'm testing it. So all you're going to do is cast your player from other actor. You're going to get your world transform from the arrow. The arrow that I have in here is facing a certain direction. So I get a reference to that arrow, and also notice that the arrow is exactly 100 above the platform. So you're not going to spawn in and fall through the world. So that's why I put the arrow in. So I'd have a direction and I would have an elevation. So I cast to the player, which I went ahead and set up a respawn checkpoint. So what's going to happen as soon as you run over this guy, it's going to create a new spawn location for you. So let's go ahead and put one up here, put a checkpoint in. Again, it's very visible. You don't have to keep it visible, but I want it visible while I'm testing. And since this is all about features, I'm not worried about players seeing things. So, okay, we're going through our map. Oh no, we died here. Ah, crap. No, we spawned back at the start point because we didn't reach any of the checkpoints yet. So we have to keep going and going and going until we finally make it to... okay, we got through there, Oh, we got the bridge down, come over, and now we've set a checkpoint. So now if I die now... Ooh, that's interesting. So now I have a checkpoint. I will respawn back at my checkpoint. Even if I die down here, back in the start area, it won't matter because I'm dead. I've set my checkpoint up here. So now I can continue playing my game, and every time I hit a checkpoint, I know that that's going to be, if I die, I'm going to come back to that new checkpoint. There you go. So that's another nice thing. So we got the mud, we got the launcher, we got the checkpoint, cannon with cannonballs. You could use that for triggering things to knock things over. If you've got a wall that you want to go away, you can have it shoot it and create a destructible mesh and make it blow up the wall. Yeah, things like that. I won't get into destructible meshes right now because I suck at it, just because I haven't done it enough. I'm using the Cinti Studios assets because, well, they're awesome. But for the test map, I'm using a lot of BSP geometries because I can just come in here, click on geometry, click on a box, make sure that it's zeroed this way, and my X is always going to be 500 because that's the width of my map, and that works out pretty good for my depth. I'm like, okay, I want to add this next platform up here, so I want my platforms to be uniform 100 tall. Now I can just grab this, bring it over here, and size it up to make sure I've got the right elevation. At least the right elevation that I want. So the elevation is good now. And I can make this as long as I want to. Let's go ahead and make this 1,000 long. It's a little bit longer than probably need to right now, but put it right next to the other one. Now, if I want to, I can come back in here like I was doing before. I can grab this guy and this guy. Well, it's about damn time you let me know you're alive. My bro and stuff, and I ain't seen you in friggin' 2 months. It's about to write you off the planet. I'm going to call in an airstrike and get you off the world. Doing everything in 100 units here on my stuff. Man, I had all kind of cool stuff planned for you for Halloween, and unfortunately, the Cinti Studios Zombies pack. Come on, Cinti. Won't you love me? Yeah, they were kind of... They got the Unity version out first. And, yeah, they didn't get us the UE4 version yet. But the bud definitely works. Love that bridge. But yeah, I had all kind of cool stuff planned, and woo, dead. Yeah, and you just like totally skated on us, bro. We were gonna have zombies, and I'd already come up with a way of making sure that whenever you died, I had all kind of death animations. I had zombie animations. I had all kind of stuff set up. Like currently right now, I'm using the F key to cause myself to die. Yeah, I created dead as an animation because it's just that dead location like that. What I need to do is actually go back through and utilize my full death animation and then go into it. In fact, let's actually take a look at that really quickly. The animation blueprint, I've got it set up in the animation blueprint itself, and I just need to finish. See, it's dead. What happens is you are dead, and you can just transition back and forth between that. There's no actual death animation just yet. So if I actually went in here and changed this from dead and brought in death 1 for the animation sequence, and went back here, delete that, death now, and then become actually state, add a state, call this dead, and the animation to use on this one is dead 1, and then we want to go from dead. How do we go from dead to normal idle? We want to be dead, not. If we're not dead, then we can come back to being there, but we need to do this. For this transition, we need to be able to... let's try doing it this way. Ratio time remaining death is greater than 0.2, whatever. So it's got to check to see if you're done with that animation, essentially. So that's going to ask, are you dead? Yes. Okay, then do that, then do that, then that, and then that. Everything should be there, but I guarantee you I'm forgetting something. There we go. Ugh. So now we got a working death animation system, the way it should be. So, you know, I'll get into the sound and sound emitters and good old stuff like that. The sound stuff, I had all sorts of freaking sound effects. I mean, tons and tons and tons. Just gotta reorganize them and get them back in here. The only ones that I've got in here right now are some basic gunshots, a crush sound. So, like I was saying about this right here, when you actually go over here and you knock over that the bridge, it's like if you don't know what you're supposed to do and you're trying to figure out how to get your way through a side scroller, and I want this to actually make a noise whenever it actually does something. I haven't made it to my checkpoint yet, so oh no, dead. Notice if you die right there next to that, it has a weird physics glitch to it. See, now it's hanging down and we've killed it. We broke the game. I don't know why it does that. It's only if you die right there, so try not to die right there and you should be okay. So we'll go to gadget and do a blueprint, actor, one shot, creek. And all we need is for you to stop being an asshole and go up there. Get there. Get in your home. We're going to add a component of a box collision. See, that's what I'm thinking about doing with a project here. Is actually, you saw the name of the project, if you could see that. It was Rampage, or Retro Rampage. Is actually creating a map that when you first start off, you're walking and all of a sudden you're just like whatever, and now you're in a Donkey Kong map. And you got to walk over, climb up ladders, go up the different ramp shapes and everything else, and avoid barrels, explosive barrels. If you get hit by the barrel, it explodes and shreds you and everything else. And yeah, instead of having Donkey Kong up there, having something else, but making it look like a Donkey Kong map, but then suddenly it's not. So, and then you go to the next level and it's like, wait, I'm doing something else now. Yeah, there was a video a while back where there was Donkey Kong playing, and suddenly the Halo characters came in, went through the map, went over Donkey Kong, just blew his ass to shreds. Sort of funny. So right click, begin overlap. We want this as a one-shot deal. So cast to player underscore base. And at that point, we want to, we don't care. We just want the player to trigger it. We're going to get a reference to our box here, and yeah, the whole chair situation, sitting down in a chair thing, and the replication to go along with it has pissed me off so badly that I just said fuck it. John Galt sent me up with a good working version with the UE4 mannequins. As soon as I transfer everything over in a copy of it, and I put in the Cindy Studios characters, it breaks all to hell and back. Oh, it just pisses me off to no end. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go do a fucking single player frickin' side scroller for now, just to take my mind off of it. It made me so mad. It works perfectly. John did one, well, I say perfectly occasionally. Whenever the client sits down, they're facing the wrong damn direction. No reason why. It's nothing that he did. There's nothing wrong with what he put in there. It's just that Unreal Engine 4 says, you know what, screw you. I don't like your instructions. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do, whether you like it or not. So it's totally a UE4 thing. There's so much hate right now. Because I did the same thing and it was doing everything perfect. No, I hadn't looked at the shooter template in a while. I've been focused in on for a week solid screwing with that stupid sit down animation and the replication for it. Because to me, that was the only thing that really mattered, was being able to sit down in a friggin' chair and have it appropriately replicate while using the Cinti Studios assets. And since it's not working, it just annoyed me so bad that I finally just had to give up and walk away from it. So we want to do once so that we are forcing it to not do it again. Then we want to play sound at location. This is our location. We're not doing multiplayer just yet, so we'll try crush 1. Whatever I actually do the replication, I am thinking about doing this as a multiplayer side scroller. Doesn't make any sense, does it? And so I want that box to be right there. I wanted to play that sound one time and never do it again. I wanted to only play because you're knocking over the thing. And it took what, about a full second. Then I would come back in and I would see it's not doing it anymore. It only did it the one time. Perfect. But then I would kind of like to time it a little bit so that whenever it hits there, you hear pang, like a clanging sound. So let's actually come back in here and put in a delay. Making the radio is not a big deal. I appreciate it, bud. So you can just make a radio that's just playing music, but every bit of the music needs to be on your hard drive and installed into the game whenever you publish the game. Got a couple of guys working on trying to get it set up appropriately for us to be able to live stream, use a live stream from Twitch and from YouTube to go directly into the game. There looks like there's a way to do it now, and might even be able to do it with attenuation. Apparently, because you know, Tower Unite does it, we need to be able to do it too. So we're going to wait a second, play sound at location. We're just going to use the same location, it doesn't matter. And then we're going to use frying pan 1. Let's see if that works. Might have to adjust the timing a little bit, but time is off a little bit. Delay 1. Let's try a delay of 2. I know that wasn't a full 2 seconds, but yeah. See, I want to be able to do the same kind of theme park feel like we talked about before, and have dance halls, dance studios. I'm actually going to double that up. Control C, Control V, to where if you want to watch, we'll say the Mighty Jingles, and we'll do this to frying pan 2 since I have 2 of them. You walk over to his building, and you could only hear his live stream when he's actually live streaming, and you're actually in that building. You can't hear it while you're outside that building. So there might be 20 of those buildings. Too long a delay. No, I'm not going to sit here and completely nitpick on the timing. But yeah, to have that to where now as you're in my lobby walking around, and you know that Jingles is actually doing a live stream. Okay, one more tweak here. 0.4 of a second. You can walk into his studio, and there'll be chairs and sofas and stuff like that. And you could sit down, you could run around and be a total dork, you can dance, you can do whatever. And this time it didn't frickin' bounce. But okay. Ugh. Alright, so kind of hovering in the air a little bit there. But good start. Died over here, and I respawn up top. Yeah, you suck. So that's good enough there. Yeah, I actually live streamed their video directly into the game, and would love to be able to get some kind of. No, they could be doing their regular live stream, and that live stream will actually just get broadcasted inside the like on a monitor right here in the back of the screen. It would be broadcasted inside of that studio, and whenever you're broadcasting inside that studio, you can only hear it if you're actually in that studio. You missed the cannon. Alright, so let's... We have a cannon. Yay. But how does the cannon shoot? The cannon shoots by running over a trigger box. You see, I want to do it so that whenever I need to figure out how to get a notification saying that so-and-so is live streaming to trigger an event inside Unreal Engine 4. Don't know how that's going to work, but so now we'll come over here, trigger that cannon, it'll actually shoot now. Did the mud feature here in the first part of the video. Ugh. Got a muzzle flash, and you got a cannonball that comes out, and yeah, I was doing stuff that pissed off the audio engineers from Epic. Well, you can't do that. I'm doing it right now. So tell me how I make it better. Yeah, but you can't do it. You want me to live stream you showing me that I'm doing it? I'm doing it. So that's how you can make a cannon work in a remote trigger. Actually, if you wanted to, set it up to where it shoots us. But you could do the same thing if you want to do an arrow or whatever. In fact, in the whatchamacallit, the Explorer pack, I believe there was actually, let's see, Explorer props. No, maybe it wasn't in this one. Maybe it was in Dungeons, or there was one of the ones that I've got that I usually tell you which pack anything is directly in, but there's an arrow slit that you put onto a wall, and you could use that same setup that I'm using for this cannon for shooting an arrow. So if you step on the trigger, just like I'm doing for launching the cannonball, I'll have to come up with a better way for doing that. Yeah, the city is free this week, or for this month, actually. It's just about easy to do this as if I was setting it up in Redstone. It was a pain in the ass getting it running the first time. Gadgets, the cannonball, super simple. That. Event begin play, set lifespan for 3 seconds, add a projectile movement, add the cannonball, and that's it. And then the actual cannon has nothing in it whatsoever. I put that in there because I hate whenever you open up a blueprint that has nothing in it and it doesn't open the full blueprint. But all I have is the cannon and I have a muzzle arrow. Because it is a static mesh, it's not a skeletal mesh. You don't know where it's going to spawn the projectile from. So I added the arrow in and it gives me a direction and a location of how it's actually going to fire. So that's the only thing that I've got in the cannon location itself. There's nothing else in here. Like I said, the can fire is only in here as a placeholder. So if you actually go into the cannon trigger, that's where the magic happens. The box collision, whenever you trigger the box collision, on component begin overlap, bang, cast to your player base. I don't even need that anymore. I don't need the on trigger anymore. I can get rid of that. But essentially, get all actors of class. Now, this is going to cause it to make every master or cannon master or every cannon that I have of that same blueprint name fire at the same time. If I have 20 cannons of that, if I copy and paste it 20 times, all 20 of them will fire at the same time. So it's not the way that I wanted to do it, but it's the way that worked, so I stuck with it. Just ran a for each loop from the other actors. Got a reference to the target, or a reference to the muzzle arrow. I got a world transform for it. Broke the transform and spawn emitter at location, which is the gunshot, little puff of smoke and the flash. And I used the location and rotation off of the break transform. Play sound at location. Currently right now I'm using the shotgun sound. I'll dig up my actual cannon sound here later and put it in there. See, it's got auto destroy on there. So it'll just flash one time and that's it. Oh yeah. Actually, I was thinking also with the pirates, you have 2 ships side by side and 10 cannons on each ship, and you hit the number 1 key and it fires the left guns. Number 2 key it fires the right guns or whatever. And play sound, which was the gunshot sound. Use the same location. Use the same transform from here to spawn actor cannonball. Bang. Nice and easy. And this all comes from the cannon trigger. Okay, this could actually have been in the player character, and you know, same basic thing here. So with this one here, because of the way that I've got it rigged, Control C, Control V, so I can put a second one in here. Both cannons will fire exactly at the same time whenever I hit that one trigger. So if you're the commander of the ship and you want to fire all of your left side cannons at one time, can't really see it, but you can see the muzzle flash coming from the cannon. So both of them are actually firing at the same time. I mean, I can always just move it back a little bit too. So let's do this, save all. So as an example, I want to make sure that this map is saved here. Go to File, New Level, Default, and let's go ahead and go to the Pirates. And ships. I'm not going to do the full blueprint or anything else for the ship, but what I'll do is I'll grab I don't like that hull. God damn it, I hate whenever it does that shit. These look so much like World of Warcraft ships, you know? That's better. So I'm going to grab one of these guys, and I'm just going to do 0, 0, 0. Going to rotate it. Ugh. Turn your snapping back on, retard. And we're just going to come over here and do that. Let's actually get rid of that, so we can just spawn our player on here. Let's make sure we do world settings, side-scroller, game mode. Oh, no. This is not going to work as I wanted it to, but because I'm in a side-scroller game, I forgot about that. So, yeah, I'll just make it work. Let's go back to my gadgets. Yeah, see, primarily all I've really been working on is features. Getting stuff working. If this is third person, we'd be able to see it a lot better, but... And this is the wrong kind of cannon, but for this ship. But you're going to get the point. I'll just make it look like they're meant to be here. Do have the right cannons in this asset pack, but I'm not going to take the time to actually go through and do that. Control C, Control V, and good enough. I'm not even going to keep this map, so I'm just kind of like using this as my example of why this would be cool to run it this way for that. So let's grab this guy, throw it over here, hit play. Oh shit, we have to put it this way. Has to be on the 0 line this way. Shit. You're seriously going to be that much of a problem to me. Fuck, get up there. I don't care about collisions. Like I said, there we go. So, you get the point. You can kind of see it's firing all the cannons at once. So you could actually, this would be a lot cooler if you were on a third-person character template. But you could just go in here and go to the player character. Where's my player? Blueprints. Like say, right mouse button, and from the right mouse button we want to shoot the cannon. So let's go back to our gadgets, look at our cannon trigger, and essentially we can just grab all of this stuff right here, Control C. So get all actors of class, yeah, that's good. Paste that in here, and we've got this off the right mouse button. Now as soon as I hit the right mouse button, I'm a-shooting my guns. So I can actually get rid of that trigger now, and I can grab this, and this. And let's rotate it around and see if we can just see it. That's cool. So yeah, that's how you could make your cannons fire. Or you could shoot an entire salvo. You just basically would create two different blueprints, left gun, right gun, and then shoot a salvo of your cannons out to that side. I'll have to do that again later on a third-person template, but cool, right? Then your cannon trigger. I'm actually going to delete that part back out of there because I don't want to make my cannons work whenever I'm not in there doing it. Compile and save. And I'm not even going to save this map. Maps. Test map. Don't save. So this was the other thing, was actually starting to put some assets in here so get the way it looks. There's your cannon. Boom, just blew up a sign. There's my spawn point, and go back to my spawn point. That's not the map I was doing. The character selection process. Again, this is more just nonsense stuff on the map. When you first start playing, this is what you'll come up with. Is you see that oh, where the hell's my mouse cursor? Oh, because I have the character set. That's in the Explorer pack, dude. Player base. I have to temporarily break this. Because when I'm first playing here, you get a prompt. You can either be the male explorer or the female explorer. Click on female, and there you go. But if you start and you click male, you got male. And the way that these characters work in the Explorers pack, which let me actually, since you haven't seen that pack yet, because you haven't been around. Sorry, I'm just kind of screwing with you. I could open up 2 copies of UE4 at the same time. In fact, you need to actually do that. So as soon as it opens up, I'll actually close it back up again. Let me actually load the project. I actually got it compiled and put on for TB4. Holy crap, TB4 Explorer. So I tried before you buy on it. Oh, you know I'm going to give you crap. It's only because I love you, bro. You're like my other brother from another mother. So the Explorer pack, and now I've got to do some more tweaks on this one. This is not actually done. It's out there for people to look at, but you got to see the other one too. Go into single player, multiplayer, it doesn't matter. So you got your character. You can get a beard, the hats. There's your jeeps. I'll show you that in just a minute. And these are the other assets that come with it. The backpack, like I'm wearing. You got the beard. You got the sideburns, which is the hair that you see my character with because I have a hat on. You got female, 2 hairs because of one with, one without hats. You got 3 different hats. You got pouches. You got robe, a whip, pouches, sleep roll. You got all these different assets and stuff. Pistol and a billy club. Oh no, I didn't include them in here. Okay, well, but yeah, the Jeep. Yeah, this version is actually available for download. I just wanted to have a little something to play around with, to show the different assets from there. The replication is broken on the Jeep, so only the host can drive it. But when you decide you want to get out of the Jeep, there you go. You get out right there at the side. It's something's a little bit broken on this one. You notice that the guy in the Jeep doesn't have a hat, but when I get out, he does have a hat. It's because the guy inside the Jeep now doesn't exist. So what I did was essentially, whenever you hit the button to enter the vehicle, it turns your character completely invisible, and it turns on the visibility of a false guy inside. You can see the wheels are turning and spinning and everything else, so it's completely animated blueprint for the Jeep. So now, if you're driving, a little glitch that I found in this setup, when get out while it's driving and turning, it will keep driving and turning and doing donuts. So I'll come over here and get in this Jeep, and they work independently from each other. So now I can do the same thing with this guy. Yes, these are the kind of guys and this kind of stuff you'd see in a Pitfall game. So, yeah, it's a little minor glitch. But I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, the other one that I was working on, let me see real quick here. What was it? Oh yeah, the FPS series. I don't know if you caught any of the videos from that one, but yeah, I was doing a first-person shooter also. I had a little bit of interest from people on this, but not enough for me to keep going. Yeah, that would be cool for Jurassic Park. So let's hit play. Actually, let's hit escape. Let's do this from the standalone. Play standalone game. So it looks like you're actually playing the game. So this is the project that I was actually working on using the Battle Royale pack. Start game. You go to the basic training map. And yeah, since it is first person, Cinti doesn't actually have it. Oh, and there's a timer. Get that big ass timer. That's how much time you have to complete this mission. You actually have ammo. I have 60 rounds of ammo. So let's go ahead and ooh, bad guy. Score is 1. Now if I shoot this target again, my score is not going to go up. You only have limited shots, and then ooh, that guy fell over. That guy fell over. Let's hit the right mouse button and go into a scope and zoom in. And now we can shoot. Right click again and come out of scope mode. Gotta beat that clock, man. We've got time. Time is running. Oh, we got this one. Zoom in with the scope. Bang. We hit him. He didn't move much. And then we shoot this one. Exploding barrel. Come through. Oh, that guy. Bad guy. Come over here. Zoom in. Bang. Bang. Like that? Well, let's use the binoculars and zoom in with the binoculars. Exploding barrel. Bad guy. Bad guy. And yes, you can actually shoot through the rails. But if you accidentally don't hit, you hit the rail itself. Come over here. Oop, bad guy. Hiding right there. So this was the kill house that, and it's not finished yet. Oh, I see you there. You think you bad. You got your G36. Shoot you right in the face. Well, in the neck, but... Game over. Final score, 24. But it's kind of broke. You can't... I didn't finish it up from here, so you're kind of stuck at this screen, so you have to kill the game. But that's where I stopped. You know, I didn't get as much reaction from the audience on continuing it. But I actually thought that was pretty cool. So, you know, the elements of having the thing where timer, it tells you how many rounds you've got left. If you hit the target, these just kind of bobble back and forth. They'll completely fall over if they have enough room. Can't really cheat all that much. You could probably cheat a little bit right there, but oh nope, waste a shot. Oh, got him. But the ability to actually shoot a target, and it doesn't matter how many times you shoot it, your score does not go up because you shoot it multiple times. Uh-oh. I have 0 ammo. I can't continue. Oh no. And I got just over a minute left, so I have to run all the way back to the beginning because I didn't pick up the extra ammo. Grab that ammo crate. There we go. Now I got 30 more rounds. I can continue shooting. Oh, didn't shoot all these guys. And I didn't shoot the guys in the tunnel. And yeah, so I mean, I showed in the FPS series on how to do all this stuff. The scope, the binoculars, the all the different little pieces, parts on how to do everything. The exploding propane tanks are actually targets. So are the barrels. They count as well towards your score. Make sure those guys are dead. And then, oop. Forgot about those two. This guy. Then the haul ass. Get over here. And set up a health system for killing NPCs, whether they're stationary or moving back and forth. There was another one that I had in here. Yeah, this is just my little test range. So you can see you got a guy running around. Shoot this one, shoot this one. But you notice these right here, they're anchored to the ground. They bounce a little bit whenever you shoot them. That target right there, hit it with the pendulum. You don't get points for it, but there you go. Uh-oh, out of ammo. So yeah, I was doing all this in the that series, and people kind of lost interest in it, so I kind of quit doing it. But I thought that was kind of cool to have a target that kind of bounced a little bit whenever you shot it. So yeah, that was this project. Yeah, the Battle Royale kit is pretty nice. So that was that. So yeah, I thought it was kind of cool doing the background blur. And of course, I showed this in the other video too. Is the guy from the Explorer pack, his hair is separate. So if you look at the Explorer pack and the characters, if you actually look at it, here's the female. She's bald too. So with no hair and no hat or anything else, how do you get that to actually work? You don't see anything in the player right here. If you look at the viewport, you can see that the main character is actually the guy, and he has hair, but he also has hair right here as an actual piece that's actually put on there. So what happens is in the widget for the character selection, you just got the two buttons here, but what happens is, whoa, there's a lot of shit there. So, quick breakdown on that one, and I'll take a break, and we can actually chat in Discord if you want to do voice chat here in just a minute. Time for me to grab a smoke, in other words. But yeah, whenever you click the mail button, it casts to your player character. Mesh data is actually stored in a data file. I'll show you that here real quick too. Get a reference to your mesh for the player. So if you choose to use the male character it sets your skeletal mesh to the male character, and then it checks the hair type from the hair data folder, hair data file. It checks, is it female with normal hair, female with a hat, male with normal hair, or male with a hat. So that's the 4 different hairstyles you can choose from. So if you are male with no hat, then set your static mesh for your hair to that, because that's actually a static mesh. Then it sets your input back to normal mode, and off you go. So used a couple data files, which are actually structures. So for your hair type, it's actually referring to female normal, female hat, male normal, male hat, and each of these are static meshes within this data structure. So you can actually pull that information out and use it individually. Did the same thing for levels. So as you're playing your levels and you're trying to do like an load level to go to the next map. Oh shit! What was the name of that map? Well, you don't have to worry about it. It's right here. You put it in this, and let's say I've added another map in here. So with this map, I've got level 1 is this guy, the one that I'm actually working on as the feature function test. I'm actually going to go ahead and hit F2, Control C, and then click anywhere else so I don't actually change it. And then I'm going to come in here, and since this variable is a name, I'm going to get a new variable. We're going to call this our features map. And then we're going to change this to name. And then the information we want in there is that. Control V to paste in the level 01. So now if I can't remember, what was the actual map name of the features map? Oh, I can't remember the name of it. You don't have to remember the name of it. So while you're in your blueprint and like, okay, I want to go to that map. How do I get there? Well, inside your blueprint, you want to request that information to tell you to go to the next level. Come in here and create a new variable, and we're going to call this our map list. Come over here to our variable type. Type in map. What did I call it? Map list. What the hell is it called? Level list, right there. Then you hit compile and save, and now you can see you've got them all stored right here. So all you have to do is just drag this variable in here into your level, get, and then drag out from there, break level list, and there you go. So if you're trying to do open level to actually load a level for you to go into, you can now say, okay, I want to go to my features map. Bang. You don't have to worry about how did you spell it, how did you type out the name, because you've already saved it in this variable right here and in that data function. So bam, there you go. So if you want, you can actually just use this no matter what level you're on to. So this is just for functionality test right here. Keyboard 1. So if I hit 1 on my keyboard, we are going to open level. Yeah, doing those structures, the data tables, doing things like that, storing data so you can call back on it later is awesome. So if we look, we are on the level we want to use right here. So let's actually see what happens if we're in here playing and we're going through, we're doing our thing. I hit number 1 key, it reloads the level. So let's get a visual representation on that. We know that when we first start this level, the bridge is up. So we just knocked it down. So what is your warning? Mud. Oh, it's because I did that. Let's actually dump this, and move this back to event begin play because we had to do something because the game was being stupid, or the editor was being stupid. Sorry, errors. So event begin play on this map. Let's go to blueprints, open level blueprint, and want the level to force us into set input to game only, and park your fucking ass up there. I hate this bullshit. And then I've changed that option several times and it still loses that functionality and changed it on its friggin' own. And then set show mouse cursor, leave that unchecked. We're going to keep this in the level blueprint. So now when we actually go in here and play, we don't have that stupid mouse bug. So okay, what I was trying to show here was we go through the level here, and fall down. All right, so that happens, and we know that we're on this level. We know that bridge is down, but what happens if you die before you reach the first checkpoint? You want the player to have to come back over and knock this back over again and do all this stuff again. So, oh, wrong key. Sorry. That was the F1, F2, and F3 keys, by the way. So what if we want the player to have to get through all this all over again, force the level to load again, and it takes you back to as if you haven't played through it at all? So what I would probably do with something like that is, if I know that that square right there is my actual checkpoint, if I hit that right there, my checkpoint is actually going to be that spot. But because I haven't made it to that spot now, if I die, it throws me all back to the point, the start point. But what we should do is come up with a way. Should ask, and I'm sure probably the easy way to do this would actually go through the level blueprint, to cast to the player, create a variable called past checkpoint 1, and let's make sure that stays a boolean. So on this right here, this death sequence, what we want to do is, before we respawn the player through all this information, we're setting is dead true. So right after that, let's actually just quickly come in here, branch, and past checkpoint 1. It's going to ask, have we passed checkpoint 1? If so, then do this. False. Then let's actually take this from that and let's actually move it down a little bit so we have some room. And custom event, reload level. So mix it into a custom event. So compile, save, and then come down here, reload level, executable. And at that point, it's going to keep asking, have we passed checkpoint 1? This information is going to be, it doesn't matter if we've passed checkpoints or what number of checkpoints. We just need to know that it passed by checkpoint 1 at least one time. So come back over here to my gadgets, checkpoint, and we want to set past checkpoint 1 to true. So this is a cool new feature. I blame you for this, Skippy. So this came about because, you know, talking to you, it's made my day. It's made me feel better. So now what should happen is come over here, and if I die, it respawns me back to here, because that's my starting spawn point. So what I want to do now is I want to come over here, and I want to knock this big old thing down. But I'm not going to pass by that checkpoint. I'm just going to die. It respawns me back there again. But as you can see, I don't know if you saw it just then, because I did not pass by the checkpoint, the map completely reset, so the bridge is still up. So I'll knock it down, come over here, pass by the checkpoint. Now I'm going to die. Ugh. But since I passed the checkpoint, it doesn't reload the map, so I can just keep on playing. Coolness. That's a feature I didn't think about before. So you follow what I did there, right? I told our checkpoint to, whenever we pass by our checkpoint, to set past checkpoint to true in our player character. And then whenever we die, we are going to check to see if we have passed checkpoint 1. If not, then we're going to reload the entire level. We're going to refresh everything. Okay? But if you've passed checkpoint 1, then it's going to deactivate your movement, it's going to kill you, and do all the other rigmarole of being dead. So that all works just fine, and we're going to test it out one more go, and then I'm going to take that break, come back, and we'll hit some voice chat and hang out for a bit. So run around, everything is cool, everything, oh no, I died. So I start from scratch. I reloaded everything. Come over here, I'm walking through mud, it slows me down. Oh, okay, we're back to normal again. Jump there, jump there. Knock down the bridge. But, oh shit, I died. So it just respawns me back to the start. What I probably need to do is, just for dexterity purposes, in my custom event for this, I'm just going to drag this guy over a little bit, and I'm going to put in a delay. Actually, no, before we do this, we still want to die. Set is dead to true. So we'll do that. Set is dead to true. So we still do a death animation. Okay. We die. No problem. And we have to get... let's do this. Let's do this right. Let's get a reference to our character movement. Set is dead to true. And let's go ahead and let us deactivate our character movement. So we can't run around. We've got a delay of 3 seconds in here. So delay and change this to 3. So we're doing basically the same thing as above. We're gonna die and do our death animation and all that stuff, but we don't need to reset our location because we are going to restart the level. So I want to take this now and go to there. This here. This over here. So now what should happen is when we die, it's going to ask, we're going to set is dead to true. We don't... we shouldn't need that, because we're asking, this is why it's helpful to go back and read through your stuff here. So when we hit F, just to trigger our death, we're going to set is dead to true. Then we're going to ask if we've passed checkpoint 1. What I may end up doing is move this to here and here so we can double it up. But we'll try it like this. So we're going to ask, are we dead? If so, well, we're just setting dead to true. We're going to check to see if we've already passed checkpoint 1. If we have, we respawn at the checkpoint. If not, we deactivate our movement anyway and delay and then open level. So let's see if that actually is going to work this way without being super hyper overcritical. So we're running, we haven't made a checkpoint yet. Ugh. We die and then respawn back at the very beginning. That looks like it's working. And we're going to go all the way over here and knock over that bridge just so we know for sure we have not crossed the checkpoint. Let's knock the bridge over. And then we're going to die. Oh, crap. We didn't make it to checkpoint 1. So we'll just restart the whole damn level all over again. That way, if you're calculating points, like, you know, you did something, see the bridge was back up again. Get over there. So now, I've passed the checkpoint. And, oh no, I died. And I respawn at the checkpoint. So everything will work is the way I want it to. So I went all the way back down here. Oh no. Oh crap. Then I died. Oh. Hey, I don't have to go all the way back to the beginning again. I can restart from my checkpoint. Oh, don't you love it when shit just works? I'll keep the cannon in here for now just because. But that's the cool thing is now when you die, no matter what, you still do the death animation. And it depends on whether you've passed checkpoint 1 or not, whether or not you restart the entire thing, or if you start from your checkpoint. So I'm happy with that. A lot of work, a lot of explanations of all the things going into it, but just for this little tiny level to get those features. But, so yeah, that's that. Of course, whenever it becomes an issue of replication, all this is going to be revamped and rechanged. And but that is my C for death shit. And I'm going to change the color just because I want to know that it's death. Save that color. Okay. So that's that, and that's using data list and or structures and all that stuff. Absolutely love it. Jump. One of the things I did was I made sure that I put this in here. I asked whether or not we were dead or not to say whether or not we could jump or not. Because what was happening is if you were dead, you could still jump. Input access move right, and then event begin play. I had to do this. I will fix that later. But I had to create a variable for character movement to use somewhere else. And I don't remember what I even used it in. I will fix that later. Any questions on all this before I kick on out and go have a quick smoke? And then I will hop on Discord in the voice channel. I'll do it on the dev chat probably for now. Do you have any questions on this, or you want to see anything from any of the other asset packs? Because I have them all. I have all the City Studios asset packs that have been released. There's 2 more that will be coming out really soon. One is the zombies for Polygon Zombies, and another one is the Frontier pack. Alright, well, let me know in developer chat when you're ready for voice chat, and I will turn on the developer voice chat channel, and we can chit chat, hang out, goof off. And I'll fill you in on all you missed. Okay, well, I'm going to be up for probably another couple more hours, so I'm probably going to still be working on this, playing around with some different features and stuff. So yeah, we'll talk to you in just a minute, and I want to thank everybody else for stopping in and watching. Hopefully you found some useful stuff in here that you can play around with. And as always, check with me on Discord. And if you got questions, let me know. See you guys soon.